Welcome to Jay and Laura TV. We are Jay and Laura Laffoon, and we're here for your life, your marriage, and your family.
And you know what? Moving right into the real life segment, I had an amazing experience, privilege this week. I went to a group at our church called Mom Life. It's a group of young moms. They meet every Wednesday morning and they get together and they talk about mom stuff, and it's just a great group of people. This week though, they did large group speaker. They had a woman come in and speak to them about marriage, and oh my word, her name is Barb Towsley, sweetest woman ever. She had all these books. She's our church librarian, so she had all these books from the experts. She said, I have all these books from the experts that'll help you get through marriage. She said, but you know what, today I'm not going to speak from the experts. I'm just going to talk as a wife of 58 years. And I went, you are an expert then. You are an expert. And so she had these notes and she just began talking and I began writing. I began taking down all these notes. When it was done, she said, why were you taking notes? You know what you're doing. I said, woman, you have been married 58 years. There's a wealth of wisdom to learn from. And here's
taking her out for coffee.
Here are some things that she said. One thing she said that I really like, she said, you know what, marriages that fail don't end with one big explosion. It happens over a period of time. Another thing that she had said that was really deep, she said, you know what, you hear all the time, don't go to bed angry, don't let the sun go down on you angry, you should always work it out before you go to bed. She said, but here's what reality is. If you go to bed angry at your spouse isn't your bedmate, the devil is.
Ooh,
words of
snap.
wisdom from Barb Towsley, 58-year woman, been married 58 years. It was just, I just
Take that
had
one to the bank.
Take
that one to the bank. Well, our question of the week is this. So since I got married, I realized I don't even know half of what I thought I did.
Yeah, like I didn't know there was a right way and wrong way to roll toilet paper.
There is.
You just put it on the roll.
No, the toilet paper comes off the top.
Either way,
always. It does
It comes
not.
off the bottom, you can still use it.
It comes off the top so you can go whoosh, boom, like that. There you go. There's also a right and a wrong way to squeeze the toothpaste tube. We don't squeeze it in the middle.
Squeeze it in the middle.
No, we squeeze it from the end
That's
and work
why we
our way
each have
up.
our own toothpaste.
We should have our own roll of toilet paper too. And you know what I've learned? There's a right and a wrong way to make the bed.
There is.
Oh my
there
goodness.
There is. The pillows have to
Throw
go
the
a certain
sheets
way.
up.
There's so many pillows.
Oh my goodness. Well, what marriage teaches us is this, that we are to be lifelong learners. And what a joy to realize I don't know it all. And tomorrow I get to really learn something new. Tomorrow I get to acquire a new skill. Tomorrow I get to change a bad habit or create a new good habit. And that's what marriage does for us, because you're walking together, you're side by side. And when we realize this, marriage becomes less of a struggle and more of an adventure as we journey together and learn together. You know what Laura and I are learning right now? We're learning that our devotional life, because we're committed followers of Jesus, our devotional life is suffering because of a little device called an iPhone, and we start spending more time on the iPhone than we do with the good Word of God or a good devotional book. So that's what we're working on, that habit of changing in our lives.
Marriage does make us lifelong learners. And you know what, here's this week. Last week we kind of said we're going to start, there's marriage in the news, but we also want to point out to you some marriage blogs that are out there, some people that we know that really give you some good information that you can find online. And this week we have a blog from Corey Allen. His blog is Simple Marriage. You can check it out online. But here's what he says this week. Problems in marriage are inevitable. I think we can all agree with that. Sometimes they're even chronic.
You're chronic.
And so sometimes is unhappiness. But here's what he did. He studied 645 couples where one spouse rated their marriage as unhappy. A research study from this team of family scholars found that 2/3 of those couples who chose to stick it out, even though they said they were unhappy, they chose to stick it out.
Work through the unhappiness.
5 years later, they had a happier marriage. Now, what's the difference? Here's what he says. And I'm just going to give these to you briefly. You can go check out his blog at Simple Marriage and find out more about him. But basically, he named 3 differences. There's the marital work ethic. These are the people who say, you know what, we've got a problem, we need to work it out, we need to find somebody who can help us. There's the marriage endurance ethic. These are the people who just say we're going to endure till it gets better. And then there's the personal happiness ethic, where somebody says, you know what, I'm unhappy, I'm going to change myself. So those were the 3 differences for those 2/3 of the couples.
You unhappy? It's not your spouse's problem. It's yours.
But here's what he said I think is very profound. People who are deeply committed to a marriage as a lifelong vow, have a happier marriage, not only because of what they do in their relationships, but because of what they think about being married in general. It's a lifelong vow. It's not something I can give up on, so I've got to work through it, either working through it, enduring it, or changing myself. Simple Marriage, Dr. Corey Allen. Check him out online. Hey, this is Jay and Laura. We've been glad to be here with you this week on Jay and Laura TV. We're here for your life, your marriage, and your family, and we'll see you next week.
Check us out on Facebook. We discuss the toilet paper.